Hello everyone, today I'm going to talk about the Naturcup, and I have heard other people pronounce it differently, so if you pronounce it differently, I am very sorry. As you can see, the box is in a different language. Here is their website, and their website is also in a different language, but you can use Google Chrome to translate it, and you find that little translator button up in the right hand corner of the address box. So you'll be able to read the website that way. And their website has changed since I last went to it. It was really plain before, just a one-page deal. There was no links. And now they changed it. It looks a lot nicer. And it has a little bit more information. And when I did the conversion on the price of the cup, it was $28 USD. And I didn't go through the shipping, so I'm not sure if there is shipping and how much it would be. So it also came with this leaflet, and I did purchase mine in a D-stash, and she happened to have everything that she received. So she sent that to me as well. And here's the pamphlet. It has really good information for first-time users, and I know that they say that these are for different ages, but it really depends on your body and your needs. I know that in several cups I am able to use both of the sizes that they offer. So it also comes with this organic cotton pouch. And here's the cup itself. Now this cup comes in 3 different sizes, if you saw on the box and in the pamphlet. Size 0, size 1, and size 2, and I have a size 2 here. This cup measures 53 millimeters, 54 millimeters, and that is just over 2 inches, and I'll go ahead and bring this up for you to see, and it's at this line here is where you're reading. So the capacity of the size 2 is 27 milliliters, and they do have measurement markings, which I'll cover a little bit later. They only have this color, or the lack of color, and it's actually tinted a little bit yellow, and I'm going to bring in my Diva cup, and you can see that yellow tint compared to the Diva cup. And because I purchased this in a D-stash, I thought it was stained, so I went ahead and soaked it in a peroxide water solution, and I do that with all of my cups. I wash it with a mild soap, and then I I soak it in a peroxide water solution, and then I boil it, and that's what I do with all of my cups when I first receive them. And it didn't take the coloring off because I thought it was stained, so I contacted the person that I purchased it from, and she said, nothing. She didn't do anything to it. It's not stained. It was this color when she purchased it. So I went online and I watched some videos and I read some forums and whatnot. And Brie, since I know that almost everybody knows Brie, and if you don't, I don't know what's wrong with you, but I'm kidding. Brie also said that hers was a yellow tinted cup. So this is a normal color for them. This cup is from Spain, and I know Feminine Wear used to carry it, and I know the Cup Guru's website had it, but I didn't see it on their websites anymore, so I'm not sure exactly where you could purchase it from. You'll have to do your own research for that. According to their website, this is made out of medical grade silicone, and it does say that they have certificates for it, compliance certificates for it. So you'll have to check out that on your own if you're curious about it or wondering or worried. The silicone on this cup is quite different from any of the other cups that I own. The most similar to the feel of this silicone is probably the Maluna TPE. It feels very much more plasticky, if you will, than a regular silicone cup. So it feels more like the TPE, and the texture of it is, for lack of better words, kind of bumpy. Not huge bumps, they're tight bumps. It kind of reminds me of when you either sponge your nails, if you sponge your nails, or sponge art, when you take a regular dish sponge and you dip it in paint and then you dab it onto something. It kind of has that texture to it. I don't know if you can really see that texture. It's not really bumpy, but it's not really smooth, and it again reminds me a little bit of the Maluna feel to it, but even the Maluna is a little bit smoother than the Naturcup itself. It's odd. I mean, it's not a good or bad, I just am noting that in this video. So I do usually do a pull test where I see if it's a slippery silicone or if it's grippy, and I'll do that now for you. And you can see that even though it's textured, my fingers slide off of that really, really easy. So when it is wet, it might be even more slippery. I tried this several months ago. I can't even remember when I purchased it. I'll have to go back in my messages and see if it's still there, but it was several months ago, and I can't remember if it was really slippery when it got wet, and I guess I could just go get some water and test it, but you can see that it's already not very grippy when I pull my fingers on it. Another thing that you might want to note is that when I'm doing this, the silicone doesn't really stretch, and I'll do that with this is a Diva cup. You can see that it has a little bit of stretchiness to it, and this cup doesn't do that. So starting with the stem here, it is a ball stem, and it has a little neck to it, which has 2 grip rings, and those are nicely raised off of there. The ball itself is very firm. It doesn't squish down. It's not a soft silicone there. And the seal between, or where the cup meets the stem, is a nice thick piece, and so if you do need to cut that ball off, you shouldn't have any problems cutting into your cup. It's not stretchy, and it's not soft, but because it's a ball stem, well, I didn't have problems with it. I do really like the ball stems on most, on cups. I only have probably one other cup that has a ball stem, now that I'm thinking about it. But I do like these smaller stems, and I don't feel like I have to cut them off. That ball is a nice grip right there, but the grip rings kind of don't really lend any hand in gripping it to remove. Your fingers mostly just hit that ball and grip on right there. So right underneath that are 3 grip rings, and you can see that they're not really raised off of that cup very much at all. And trying to use them to grip is pretty nil. So it's not even, I mean, I don't even know why they put them there, because they don't actually grip onto your fingers. What does make it so that your fingers don't slide off is actually that seal where the cup meets the stem. And you can see here that when I slide my fingers, it stops right there. So they do have a secondary rim, and it's not as hard as a hard edge as some of the other cups. I only have 2 other cups that have this style of a rim, and here is the Moon Cup USA version, and you can see that it's really squared off right here. There's no rounded edges to it, and they did round it just a bit, but there's still a nice edge on it. I know some of you don't like that because it does kind of get uncomfortable sometimes just trying to put it in, and even removing it. Sometimes those are bothersome to some people. So on this rim there is a seam, and for the life of me I'm trying to figure out how they molded this cup and why there's a seam right there, but you can see it just sticking out. And although it's there, I think that little seam is not really going to give you any problems, because there's this large rim that is basically umbrella, making like an umbrella over that seam, so you shouldn't be able to feel that seam. And then this top rim is a lot more firm than the rest of the cup. So it gets more firm from this secondary rim, and then the top rim is even more firm than that. And I found this kind of odd. I've never had this on another cup before, but there is a dip right on the inside, and I'm just putting my nail into it. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's right there, and it goes all the way around. That's dipped in. So I don't know what that is from. Again, I'm trying to figure out how they made this mold for this cup, because of those this line here, and also this I don't know if it's a seam or what. It's just kind of strange. So they do have 4 suction release holes right underneath that rim, and they are quite wide. You can see right through it to the other side. And they are evenly spaced. And the inside is molded with their website right there, and also with the measurement markings or measurement lines, and that says 15 milliliters, but again I did say that it was 27 milliliters to the top rim here. They also have a mold of the size, which is right here on the center of the stem seal, and there is 2 lines, which is a number 2 Roman numerals. And that's about it with the details of the cup. The inside is smoother than the outside of the cup, just so you know that, because it's textured out here, your blood might, kind of grip onto those, but on the inside it is smooth, so your blood shouldn't stick. It should be able to just rinse away easily with just a swishing of water. I'm going to be destashing this cup, so I'm not going to do a squish test against all the other cups that I have on hand, but I will do a side-by-side comparison really quickly with some of the other popular cups that are on the market right now. So first, here is the Diva cup. And here is a Lunette cup. The Diva cup and the Lunette are size large. Again, the Naturcup is a size 2, which is the largest of 3 sizes that they carry. This is an Eva cup. And you can see that the Naturcup is a very V'd. What else? Maluna. This is a Maluna large. And how about a Maluna extra large? So my personal experience with this cup, after I sterilized it, I did give it a try, and I was, I think, just ending my period, so I was very light. And I did try my punch down fold, which I usually, that was my go-to fold, and I'm not putting a whole bunch of pressure here, but you can see that it doesn't pop open, and it might be because the back of the cup is soft, or it might be because of the texture. I find that TPE and very textured cups, sometimes they kind of grip onto itself, so it doesn't open easily. And this, I got this cup before I found that sweet spot where I could get the softer cups to open, allowing them to open lower inside of my vagina than I normally would. With the lunette, say, I could insert it all the way and then let it pop open, and I wouldn't have to like fumble around with pressing it into place. But softer cups, I do have to allow them to open lower in my vagina, and then using a finger push them up by the rim, just like so. So with this cup, the punch down fold didn't work, and I did have to use the C fold or U fold, and I inserted it, and because it does have that secondary rim and a firmer top rim, it opened easily. And I was able to position it correctly. My cervix was where it needed to be, and everything felt right, and I just tucked the back of the cup behind my pelvic bone and stood up. And I couldn't feel this ball stem. I do have a high cervix, so I usually don't have huge problems with stems, but I didn't feel this stem. I did read that some people said that this hard ball stem was very uncomfortable, so do know that if you need a little shorter cup, that this one might be a little bit too long and that stem might be a little bit irritating. But I personally wasn't able to feel it. It was fine, and I went about doing stuff. I remember that I ended up online and I was talking in the Facebook groups and stuff, and then about 45, I'm sorry, I'm trying to reposition myself here. About 45 minutes into using the cup, I started getting this cooling sensation. And it's kind of like when you have Vicks on or Bengay on and a breeze hits it and it just like instantly cools it down. That's the kind of feeling that I had gotten. Maybe like a menthol was on it, or on me, or in me, actually. And I started feeling kind of lightheaded, like a dreamy state. Like right before you're going to faint, you have that like dreamy feeling, or when you're overly tired, you have that dreamy feeling. And that's kind of how I felt. And I hadn't eaten yet that day. And so I kind of chalked it up to that. But the cooling effect could not have come from not eating. So I did remove the cup right away. And about 15 minutes later, that cooling, tingling sensation went away. And so I was kind of worried. I'm the only one in my family that has all of her reproductive systems left. My sisters, my mom, I have several cousins, my aunts, my grandmother passed away from cysts. So I was really worried, and I removed it, and I contacted the person that I purchased it from, and I said, did you do anything to the cup? And she says no. And I trust her. She's another well-known, I know she's done videos, and I don't know if she has blogs, but she talks on the groups a lot and on live journals, so I trusted her when she said that she didn't do anything different to this cup than she normally would. And again, I didn't do anything different to this cup than that I normally would with any of my other cups, so I'm just not really sure about that. I went ahead and boiled it again, and I was worried to try it, but I left it out all that day, and the next day I figured, okay, well, I'll try it again, and again I had that cooling sensation, and so I'm not quite sure what is up with this cup. And I was planning on destashing this cup, and I'm really worried about it, so it's really up to you if you want to try it. I'm just letting you know now that that was my experience with this cup. I did see several videos with people saying they loved this cup, it's their favorite cup, and it's a great cup and stuff, but I don't know what was wrong with my particular cup. So either you try it out at your own risk, or you can use it for talking about menstrual cups, or doing a review on what you find just by looking at it, or what have you. Make earrings if you want it. But I am warning you now, if you do find me on Facebook and you do want to buy this cup, that was my experience with this particular cup. My cup in my hand right now. The other nature cups, I don't know, maybe there's not a cooling sensation to them, but that's what I found in this cup. So it's a nice design. I like the V of this. I like the ball stem, but I wish it was soft. A soft silicone. There's a big crow crowing. Can you hear it? It's very loud. I wish that this was a little bit nicer transition between the secondary rim and the cup itself. And, I try not to say anything bad about any of the cups that I make reviews on. Oh my goodness. He's out on the tree right in front of my window here. Oh, it's a Stellar J. It's so pretty. I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked. So I think that's all I can say about this cup. If you do purchase mine, purchase it at your own risk. And if you have any additional comments or questions, you can leave them below, or find me on Facebook and message me there. Friend me there. Give me a thumbs up if this was helpful at all. And don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, see ya. If you're interested in more menstrual cup information, cup versus cup comparisons, or personal reviews, check out my channel, and please don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, thanks for watching.